One more. One more. Beautiful. Good. That's what we got to bring him on to. Nobody can take them.
Had to wear the Kronk merch. Shout out Kronk. So first session is strength. We're basically going to be doing some explosive weights. High intensity, short amount of time. We're working on our sprint systems.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past him.
Anthony Joshua trains with calm focus as he prepares for his fight against Jake Paul. His workouts combine strength training, movement drills, and controlled sparring, all showing his confidence and discipline. On the other side, Jake Paul is also putting in serious effort, determined to prove he can compete with a top-level fighter. Watching both men prepare builds anticipation and curiosity about how this unusual and highly discussed matchup will unfold.
Today.
One thing I knew, he was a hard worker. Second thing I knew, genetically he's very gifted, but I knew after the evaluation we had some work to do. Now I've seen his body already evolve into something totally different. I've seen his conditioning evolve into something different, and more importantly, his understanding of his body and why he's doing things the way he's doing them. That's the most important evolution that I've seen.
Inside his training camp, Anthony Joshua works with complete confidence. He knows he holds a clear advantage over Jake Paul. Yet, he pushes himself hard every day, focused on making a statement. His mission is straightforward: step into the ring, dominate, and put an end to the noise and distractions created by Jake.
That's all that matters.
Because early on, if you look for power, you waste energy.
Exactly.
Then that power evaporates. When they're tired, you ain't got the power to take them out. So you got to open up in the gap for no reason. So just relax, flow.
Just pop off
Good
that
feet,
reach.
you were saying.
Just pop off that reach. And any time you move, that should be that. That should be that. Yeah. And then the controls down the middle. All right.
Yeah. That's what
Control,
I felt today.
smooth, relax, relax, relax. Last minute, mate. That'll do you then. Uppercut. Good. Right hand. Good. 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 Left hook high. Good. Uppercut high. And again.
Eddie Hearn points out that the financial offer presented to Anthony Joshua is enormous, too big to ignore, especially at this point in his career. Joshua has already achieved nearly everything possible in the heavyweight division. Accepting a high-paying fight now is a strategic choice rather than a desperate move. Hearn emphasizes that boxing has always been about both legacy and earnings. When a fighter can earn a massive purse in a match they can handle without excessive risk, it makes practical sense to accept. He stresses that Joshua isn't doing anything unusual or wrong, he's making a smart decision. According to Hearn, no professional fighter would realistically turn down such an opportunity when it aligns with training, timing, and career goals. Jake Paul offering such a large sum has opened a door that Joshua is naturally walking through, because in boxing, serious offers deserve serious consideration.
Cup in Gerva, that one's in the works and looking likely for December. What can you tell?
Yeah, not yet. I mean, there has been conversations, obviously. I think it comes down to how true, they are. Jake Paul is that he actually wants to fight. I mean, he's a madman if he wants to fight. But for some reason, and he thinks he can beat AJ. And I have to be honest, we were going to have a run out in December, over 8 rounds against a bloke you've never heard of. And we may end up having a run out against Jake Paul for a career high payday. I don't see how we can turn it down.
When I asked you about it a couple of days ago, you said that at that time you never really got into the financials. Have those been discussed now? Have you discussed the financial element?
Yeah, there has been some conversations around that, and it is, it's a huge amount of money. And I think AJ would be mad if he didn't do it, and I think he will do it if Jake Paul is genuine. We may wake up tomorrow with these people and they've announced another fight. Honestly, anything could happen. So I still can't get my head around the fact that this guy wants to challenge AJ. There's some respect to him if it's true, but we shall see.
To end on that note, I spoke to Alfie Sharman earlier. He said that himself or DAZN have had no conversations about AJ potentially taking that fight. Obviously, AJ is exclusive to DAZN. What's the situation with regards to that? Because I know there's one here.
Apparently the fight's done. Obviously it's not done because, those conversations have to take place. I'm very confident that I can have some positive conversations with DAZN. Obviously we'll be on a clock, but it's a 50-50.
last one from me. I saw Chris McKenna tweeted that Anthony Joshua currently doesn't have a British Boxing Board of Control licence. Obviously, it's not unusual for someone who isn't fighting currently and he's inactive to let it run out. But he would have to apply for one to face Jake Paul again, and then they'd have to approve a fight. Do you think that'd be
Experts highlight that Joshua's record already includes bouts against some of the most powerful heavyweights of his era. Even after a 14-month break, they insist the gap in experience between him and Jake Paul remains massive. They note how Joshua has spent years facing champions, knockout artists, and elite athletes, challenges far beyond what social media-driven fighters have encountered. While time away from the ring can affect anyone, analysts believe Joshua's fundamentals, power, reach, and boxing IQ still give him a commanding edge. They also point out that his previous loss doesn't reduce his standing here because the level of competition he faced was much higher than anything Jake Paul has faced. Overall, they see Joshua's skill set, even after time off, as more than enough to control the fight and dominate whenever he chooses.
Just to clarify, I don't class Otto Wallin as a very competitive fight. Every competitive fight that AJ is in from now until the end of his career and has been in for the last few years, I believe has taken something out of him. Every time he's in a competitive fight, even when he's won, and I'm not saying taken out of him to the extent where he's no longer a good fighter, no longer can do anything, but every single one has taken one out of him. So let's say, for example, you go down the Tony Yoka route and you can sell it as the 2 Olympic gold medalists and whatever. It's a lose-lose, mate. You're expected to knock him out. If you don't, then you go the distance. I think that's going to take something out of you. I actually think that this could be better prep for a Tyson Fury fight. Not just
mentally as well, because he smokes him and it looks great, and then he's confident.
This is what I'm saying, right? Not just from a stylistic boxing standpoint, but from the mental standpoint of the fact that if you go in there and you smoke Jake Paul, straight away, all of a sudden, it's headline news, it's massive, and as well as that, you're coming in off the back of something that's impressive, right? We all felt like the Francis Ngannou performance was really impressive, but it wasn't followed up with an impressive performance. So it doesn't actually determine whether or not...
This is worse. This is worse. This is worse than that. I don't know what you're thinking, Lawrence, but the Ngannou one, you could at least say heavyweight. You could say that his pedigree. So we didn't really...
On the distance
while
of
he
Fury.
was coming from a different kind of method of fighting, end of the day, he's still a champion. We're talking about Jake Paul, guys.
Do you know what's mad? Can I just add something in before Loza jumps in? There are Americans, and I've heard them in the last 24 hours, giving Jake Paul a better chance than Francis Ngannou, saying he has the boxing experience. Francis Ngannou didn't have enough boxing experience. Because that's how Americans view this whole thing.
Well, no, Francis Ngannou did have more boxing experience than Jake Paul.
Well, yeah. But that's what they're saying is Francis Ngannou had 1 fight, Jake Paul's had 10, 12.
10 rounds, and you little say I'm licking his ass. 10 rounds of Tyson Fury, yeah, will gain you more experience than everything.
Adam Catterall strongly criticizes the choice to make this a sanctioned fight rather than an exhibition. He argues that a full competitive bout puts Jake Paul at significant risk because Joshua's natural power far exceeds anything Paul has faced. Catterall explains that exhibitions allow for safety and controlled pacing, while a real fight removes those protections. He worries that Jake Paul may not fully understand the force of a heavyweight punch, especially from someone of Joshua's size and experience. He questions whether entertainment value should take priority over fighter safety and believes this matchup enters dangerous territory. His warning is clear: fans might enjoy the spectacle, but facing a former world champion under official rules is an entirely different challenge than any YouTube-level fight.
Yeah. Brutal knockout against Dubois.
Yeah.
Not the same AJ maybe of the past. He's 36. He's got a chance to earn £70 million, maybe to add to the 150 he's already got. Why wouldn't he do it? Because why would he want to maybe for 5 or 10 million fight a Fabio Wardley who's dangerous, Itoma who's dangerous? Surely from an AJ point of view, it makes sense.
Makes sense. From any fighter's point of view, it makes sense because you're in... Listen, belts don't pay your mortgage, do they? And I know he's got a lot of dough anyway, but 70 million... If someone's going to throw you 70 million quid to fight a lad that struggled and lost to Tommy Fury, you're going to take it, aren't you?
Yep.
So from AJ's point of view, yep, I completely get that. From Jake Paul's point of view, you're leveraging your audience in the world of boxing and making a ton of cash fighting the former 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. Mate, most boxing fans would bite your hand off at that opportunity, especially if you're throwing 70 million quid in the pot as well. I've no problem with the promoters. My problem is that it can't be a legitimate fight. Let's be dead honest about this, right?
Eddie Hearn said it will be.
Listen, there is no commission on the planet that can authorise that fight. It's a 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, still in his athletic prime. You just said he's 36. We're not talking Mike Tyson age of 50 odd here now, are we? Olympic gold medalist. He's had 13 world title fights as AJ. 13 of them. Against the very best guys.
And could take his head off.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely dangerous. Like I've just said, Jake Paul struggled with Tommy Fury. The levels between these two guys are ridiculous. The commissions cannot sanction that as a legitimate fight. There has to be a rule change. It has to be an exhibition. And then you can have a little bit of a move.
Hold on, Gav. Let's go back to proper boxing. I'm with Cats here. You know, this is
a big story, though.
Oh, listen, it's because it's AJ, because it's Jake Paul. It's going to do numbers and capture people's.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for the next update.